They forgot to invite me. My brother laughed about it. My parents made excuses. But when the money stopped coming, suddenly I mattered. Too late. Part 1. I had been counting down the days. Not to a vacation. Not to some big event. Just dinner. A simple family dinner at my parents' house in Boise. The kind with too much food and not enough chairs. The kind we used to have when we were still pretending we liked each other. It was supposed to be next weekend. At least that's what I thought. Until I opened Facebook on a slow Tuesday afternoon and saw the photos. My aunt had posted them. Smiling faces, full plates, clinking glasses. The lights in my parents' dining room glowing soft and golden. My cousins were there. My uncles. My parents. Even my childhood neighbor Mr. Price was somehow in the background, holding a slice of pie. Everyone was there. Except me. I stared at the photos trying to make sense of it. Maybe it was an old gathering? A throwback post? But then I saw the timestamp. Yesterday. Yesterday while I was curled up on my couch, reading a book and sipping tea thinking, just a few more days until the dinner. They were already eating without me. I swallowed hard, my stomach sinking. This wasn't a casual hangout someone forgot to mention. This was the dinner. The one we'd been talking about on the family group chat. The one Mom and I had just discussed days ago. You'll be there, right? Of course, sweetheart, she'd said. It'll be so nice to have everyone together. You work so hard, we all miss you. I had smiled after that call. I had felt warm. Wanted. I even bought gifts. Nothing huge. Just small things. A new gardening kit for my dad. A scarf I thought Mom would like. I got my brother Carter a gift card to that overpriced burger place he loved, despite knowing full well he probably wouldn't get me anything back. But that's family, right? You give. You show up. Even when they don't always do the same. I guess that part doesn't apply to me. My hands hovered over my phone. I stared at the pictures again. Mom serving mashed potatoes. Carter laughing with a beer in hand, someone giving a toast. It didn't look like a group that accidentally forgot to invite someone. It looked planned. Complete. Like they never expected me to be part of it. Something hollow settled in my chest. Still I called. I shouldn't have. I should have deleted the app, let it go, told myself it didn't matter. But I needed to hear it. Carter answered on the second ring. Yo, what's up? I didn't bother with hellos. My voice was tight. Was the family dinner yesterday? There was a pause, maybe 1 second. Oh, yeah. We kind of forgot to invite you. He laughed. He laughed. Not a nervous laugh. Not a guilty laugh. The kind of laugh that said it didn't matter. That I didn't matter. You forgot, I repeated. Yeah, he chuckled. Oops. Oops. Like stepping on someone's shoe. Like losing your keys. Not like leaving your sister out of a dinner she'd been planning for weeks. I gripped the phone so tight my knuckles turned pale. Could have asked why. Could have yelled. Demanded an explanation. But I didn't. Because deep down I already knew the truth. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a scheduling error. They set a date. They coordinated schedules. They sent out invites and reminders. And no one, not my mother, not my brother, not even my aunts who text me happy birthday once a year, thought to include me. Not a single one. I let out a breath and hung up. No goodbye. No second chances. Just silence. I sat there for a long time, staring at the blank screen. Carter's laugh still echoing in my ears. The worst part wasn't that they forgot. It was that they didn't care. To them, I wasn't really part of the family. Not in a meaningful way. I was the useful one. The one who covered emergencies. Sent money when Mom's car broke down or Carter's rent was short. The one who remembered birthdays and helped organize Dad's retirement party. But I wasn't someone they missed. Not someone they made room for. I was helpful. Until I wasn't. And that dinner, that was the proof. They had food, drinks, company, laughter. They had everything they wanted without me. And it hadn't made a dent. I opened Facebook one last time, scrolled through the photos again. They looked happy, effortlessly full. Like they hadn't noticed a single empty chair. Then I closed the app and did something I'd never done before. I opened my banking app. I found the auto payment that had been going to Carter every month for the past 3 years. Just a few $100 to help with bills. It was never supposed to be forever, but somehow it just kept going. Quiet automatic. Like me. I canceled it. 3 taps. Confirm. Done. And just like that, something inside me shifted. I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. I just felt free. I didn't text my mom. I didn't call my dad. I didn't ask why no one had thought to include me. I just let the silence hang there. And it didn't take long. A few days later, I got a text from Mom. "Hey sweetheart, hope you're doing okay. Carter's having a hard time with rent again. Any chance you could help him out this month?" I stared at the screen. My lips curled into a small, tired smile. The words came to me instantly. Ask him why he forgot to invite me to dinner. But I didn't send it. I just closed the message and let them sit with it. Maybe for the first time they'd actually wonder why I wasn't answering. Or maybe they'd write me off like always. Say I was being dramatic. Emotional. Moody. Either way, I was done explaining myself. For the first time in my life, I didn't care. No guilt. No urge to fix anything. No heavy need to smooth it all over. I just sat there letting myself think. Not about the dinner. Not about Carter's stupid laugh echoing in my head. Not even about my mother's inevitable guilt trip. But about how we got here. I had spent my whole life being the good one. The reliable one. The one who followed the rules, who stayed out of trouble, who made smart choices and asked for nothing. And what did I get in return? Not respect. Not appreciation. Not even basic kindness. Just expectations. Childhood in our house was simple. Carter was the golden boy. And I was the background noise. I don't mean they neglected me, not in the way that gets headlines. I had clothes, food, birthday cakes. But attention, recognition, a sense that I mattered, that was all reserved for Carter. He was the fun one. The unpredictable one. The one who could screw up and still be everyone's favorite. When he got in trouble at school, my mom would march in, furious, ready to accuse the teachers of picking on him unfairly. When I aced a test, "That's nice, honey," she'd say. "Did you help Carter with his math?" Everything revolved around him. Even when he failed, they made excuses. He stole money from Dad's wallet once when he was 16. "He's just a kid," Mom had said. He didn't mean it. He got caught cheating on a test. That teacher always had it out for him. He crashed his first car after speeding down a wet road. The tires were bald. That wasn't his fault. Meanwhile, I learned early on that I didn't get those kinds of passes. If I stood up for myself, I was being difficult. If I got upset, I was too sensitive. If I asked for fairness, I was starting drama. By the time we were teenagers, the pattern was set. I got a part-time job at 16. Saved every dollar. Planned for college. Carter barely worked, blew through cash like it was Monopoly money, and still got bailed out. I remember one moment like it's burned into my brain. I had saved for months, literal months, to buy myself a used laptop for school. I was so proud. It wasn't fancy, but it was mine. Paid for with babysitting and cashier shifts and tutoring. Then one afternoon, I came home to find Carter using it. "What are you doing?" I asked, my heart racing. He barely looked up. Mom said I could borrow it. Borrow it? He downloaded games. Changed the settings. Deleted half my files without even asking. When I went to our parents, angry, hurt, shaking, they brushed it off. "Don't be so selfish, Natalie," Mom said. "He just wanted to use it for a bit." I had worked all summer for that laptop. Carter used it for 2 hours and ruined it. And I was the one who got scolded. By our 20s, it was fully baked in. I went to college on a scholarship. Graduated early. Got a job in finance. Worked hard. Built something. Carter? Dropped out after 1 semester. Floated from job to job. Lived in apartments paid for by someone else. And somehow, he was still the one they worried about. Every time he failed, Mom would call. "Natalie, sweetheart, Carter's having a hard time. Could you help him out this month?" And at first, I did. I paid his rent a few times. Covered a medical bill. Helped with his car payment. Not because I adored him, but because deep down, some twisted part of me still thought maybe this was the way to be seen. Maybe if I kept helping, kept proving I was the good one, they'd finally see me. They didn't. Instead, the more I gave, the more they expected. The favoritism never let up. I'd visit home and hear, Carter just needs support right now. He's trying. But if I mentioned a raise at work? That's nice. But don't work yourself into an early grave. Nothing I did was enough. I could have cured cancer and they would have asked if Carter needed a ride. And suddenly, that dinner wasn't a mystery anymore. They hadn't forgotten me. They just didn't think about me. I wasn't one of them. Not really. Not in the way that mattered. I was useful. Until I wasn't. But this time, something inside me was different. I wasn't angry. I was done. I had already canceled Carter's monthly payment. That auto transfer I'd set up 3 years ago when he just needed help getting back on his feet. I wasn't going to explain myself. I wasn't going to apologize. And I wasn't going to pretend to be okay with being left out. Let them feel it. A few days later, my phone buzzed. It wasn't Mom this time. It was my aunt, the same one who had posted the family dinner photos. Natalie, I just realized. I didn't see you at the dinner. Were you out of town? My pulse picked up. I hadn't been out of town. I had been at home, waiting for an invitation that never came. I stared at the message, took a slow breath, then typed, "No, I wasn't out of town. I guess they just forgot about me," and hit send. Just like that, a crack appeared in their perfect little story. They hadn't noticed me missing, but now someone else had. And that changed everything. A few hours later, my phone buzzed again. This time it was my cousin Emma. We'd never been super close, but we always got along. And now she was asking questions. "Hey, I was just talking to Aunt Lydia. She said you weren't at the family dinner. What happened?" I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. I could have brushed it off. Lied. Said I had other plans. But not this time. I typed slowly. "I wasn't invited." Then paused. Added. "I only found out when I saw the pictures on Facebook." I hit send. Less than a minute later, she replied. "Wait, what? Are you serious? That doesn't make any sense." Oh, but it did. It made perfect sense. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. I'd planted the seed. Now all I had to do was let the truth do the rest. I should have known it wouldn't take long for my mom to catch wind of what was happening. The next morning I woke up to a voicemail. Her voice had that syrupy sweetness she used when she was pretending nothing was wrong. The kind of tone she used with waiters when she wanted a free dessert. "Natalie, sweetheart. I heard you've been telling people you weren't invited to dinner. That's not true, honey. It must have just been a miscommunication. I'm sure we mentioned it at some point. Maybe you forgot? Anyway, let's not make a big deal out of this. Call me back, okay? Love you." I rolled my eyes and deleted it without listening twice. A miscommunication. She really thought she could rewrite the whole thing like it was a sitcom mix-up. I hadn't forgotten anything. I hadn't missed a text. They just hadn't made the effort. And now that people were noticing, she was trying to gaslight me into pretending it had never happened. Not this time. By the end of the week, the family group chat was lit up like a Christmas tree. I hadn't said a single word in it, but other people had. Aunt Lydia. I still don't understand how Natalie didn't know about the dinner. Who was in charge of inviting everyone? Emma. Yeah, it's weird. It's not like she lives across the country or something. My cousin Amber. Honestly, if that happened to me, I'd be pissed. Every time someone raised a question, my mom jumped in with her usual deflections. It was just a mix-up. No big deal. Natalie's always busy. We assumed she couldn't make it. She's making this a bigger deal than it is. But the more she tried to downplay it, the worse it looked. Because the truth was simple. They had excluded me. And now, people knew it. A few nights later, my dad called. Not my mom, my dad. That almost never happened. I considered ignoring it. But curiosity got the better of me. "Hello, Natalie," he said. Then cleared his throat. "Listen, your mom's really upset. She thinks you're trying to turn the family against her." I nearly laughed. "I haven't done anything," I said calmly. "I just told the truth." "Yeah, but you're making things harder than they need to be. You know how your mother is. She doesn't like drama." I let out a long breath. "Dad," I said carefully, "why weren't you the one to call me and invite me to dinner?" There was silence on the other end. Then, I I just assumed your mom had taken care of it. And that was it. He hadn't even thought about me. Not once. And now that it was all blowing up, he wanted me to help fix it. I'm not fixing this for her, I said, flat and final. She did this to herself. And I hung up before he could guilt me into anything else. The next day, a text from Carter. The first since the dinner fallout. Yo, why is mom freaking out? I smirked at my screen. I've been waiting for this. I don't know, I replied. Maybe she finally realized I'm not just a paycheck. 5 full minutes passed. Then, wait, is this about you not sending me rent money? Dude, are you serious? You're really gonna be petty over a dinner? I took my time before replying. I gave you money for years. And the one time I was actually excited about something, you couldn't even remember to text me. Another pause. Longer this time. Then, come on, it wasn't that deep. I almost laughed. I didn't respond. I just set my phone down and let him sit in it. Over the next few days, it got worse for them. One by one, relatives started to see through the cracks. My mom's excuses weren't landing anymore. Carter's entitlement was rubbing people the wrong way. And me? I stayed quiet. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I didn't send dramatic texts or try to plead my case. I just let the silence do the work. And that's when it happened. My aunt, yes, the one who posted the dinner photos, messaged me directly. Natalie, I just wanted you to know. I don't agree with what happened. It wasn't fair. And I'm really sorry you were treated that way. I felt something in my chest loosen. Just a little. For the first time someone saw me. Someone named what had happened. And honestly, that meant more to me than any apology my mom could ever fake. By the end of the month, the whole family dynamic had shifted. My mom was on the defensive, trying to convince people she hadn't done anything wrong. Carter was flailing financially, and suddenly no one felt bad for him. Even my dad had stopped trying to mediate once he realized I wasn't budging. And me? I had finally won. Not by screaming. Not by crying. Not by begging to be included. But by doing nothing. For once, I wasn't the one left out. They were. I wasn't the one chasing affection. Or proving my worth. Or writing checks to buy my way into their circle. I had stepped out and watched the cracks form without me. A week after my aunt's message, I got a call from my cousin Daniel. We hadn't talked in a while. But this time there was no small talk. Natalie, what the hell happened with your parents? I played dumb. What do you mean? Why weren't you at the dinner? I figured you had work or something. But then Emma told me you weren't even invited. I let out a slow breath, keeping my voice steady. Yeah, I wasn't. That's messed up, he muttered. And now my mom's pissed because your mom is acting like you just flaked. She's making herself look bad. I smiled to myself. Because that was the real issue. My mom wasn't upset that she'd hurt me. She was upset that people knew she had. And while she scrambled to save face, Carter had a bigger problem. His bank account was dry. And I wasn't coming to save him this time. I had always been there. When Carter was late on rent, I covered it. When he needed a little help with bills, I wired the money. When he couldn't keep a job for more than 2 months, I filled in the gaps. I was always there. Until I wasn't. It didn't take long for him to start panicking. A few days after I stopped the payment, he showed up at my apartment. I hadn't seen him in person since the whole dinner incident. And to be honest, I wasn't exactly thrilled to see him now. I opened the door and raised an eyebrow. What do you want? Carter gave one of his dramatic sighs and shoved his hands into his hoodie pockets. Can we talk? I folded my arms. We are talking. He shifted his weight like a guilty teenager. Look, I know you're mad about the whole dinner thing. Mad? I cut in, tilting my head. I'm not mad, Carter. I just finally see things clearly. He blinked. Definitely not the reaction he was expecting. Well, whatever, he muttered. I'm in kind of a tight spot right now. Rent's due in a few days, and I was wondering if you could help me out. I just stared at him. I almost laughed. He really didn't get it. Let me get this straight, I said slowly. You didn't even think about me when planning that family dinner. You laughed in my face when I found out. And now you're standing here asking for money. His jaw tensed. Natalie, come on. You know how things are for me. Mom and Dad can't help. No. He blinked. What? No, I repeated. Figure it out yourself. His face darkened. Wow. Seriously? You're actually doing this? Doing what? I asked, tilting my head. Treating you the way you treated me? He opened his mouth, closed it. For the first time in years he looked unsure. We're family, he tried. I smiled, totally unbothered. Funny, I said. Didn't seem that way when you forgot to invite me. And then I shut the door in his face. I knew that wasn't going to be the end of it. Carter might be too stubborn to apologize, but my mom? She wouldn't let her perfect little family image fall apart without a fight. So of course she called. And for once I answered. Natalie, sweetheart, she began, her voice laced with forced warmth. I heard Carter stopped by. He said you weren't very nice to him. I let out a short, dry laugh. Yeah, well, Carter wasn't very nice to me either. Guess we're even. Please don't be petty. He's struggling right now. And I'm not. I snapped. That's the problem, isn't it? You don't care about me. You just care about what I can do for you. That's not true, she insisted. You're my daughter. I love you. Really? I asked. Then why didn't you invite me to dinner? Silence. A long, heavy silence. Then she tried again. Natalie, honey, it was just a misunderstanding. We never meant to hurt you. But you did, I said. And now that people know about it, you're trying to fix your reputation, not our relationship. That's not fair. No. What's not fair is how I spent my entire life being the responsible one, the helpful one. And the second I wasn't useful anymore, you left me out. More silence. A real one this time. Because she knew I was right. I have to go, I said. And don't bother calling me when Carter needs money again. That's not my problem anymore. And I hung up. My parents tried to cover their tracks after that. Tried to smooth things over with the rest of the family. Tried to spin their own version of the story. But it was too late. The damage was done. People saw them now, really saw them. And me? I was fine. No better than fine. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't chasing approval. I wasn't begging to be included. I wasn't waiting for the next invitation that would never come. I was choosing myself. And the best part? They were the ones now living with the consequences. A few months later, I got a text from Aunt Lydia. We're having a little get-together next weekend. Hope you can make it. I stared at the message. My chest felt warm. Not tense. Not anxious. Just seen. Who else is coming? I asked. She listed a few cousins, some aunts and uncles, but notably missing my parents. And Carter. I smirked. They had burned their bridges. And now? Now they were the ones being left out. I typed my response. I'll be there. And I meant it. Because for the first time it wasn't their family dinner anymore. It was mine. So, what would you have done? If your own family left you out, then came running the second they needed something, would you forgive? Would you help anyway? Or would you finally walk away like I did? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear what you think. And if this story hit close to home, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Thanks for watching.